Reading from John 4, 1 through 26. Now Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard that he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John, although in fact it was not Jesus who baptized, but his disciples. So he left Judea, went back once more to Galilee. Now he had to go through Samaria, so he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was almost about noon. When a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into the town to buy food. The Samaritan woman looked at him. "You are a Jew, and I'm a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" For Jews do not associate with Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that you ask for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and your well is deep. Where can you get the living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and the livestock?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whosoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst again. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming back here to draw water." He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What have you just said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you're a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." "Woman," Jesus replied, "believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and now has come, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the Spirit and the truth." The woman said, "I know what Messiah, called Christ, is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." The word of the Lord.
This is a very special passage which starts off with Jesus' disciples baptizing others. And remember why people are baptized. They're baptized because they want to make a public declaration of their new faith and unity in Christ. What do you get baptized in, though? Water, of course. Interestingly enough, the rest of the passage centers around water too. Jesus meets this woman at the well who collects water in the afternoon when the sun is the strongest. No other woman did that. They used to go in the morning when the sun was less hot. Why do you think this woman would collect water in the afternoons? I know some people who like to go grocery shopping at night because there's less crowds, they're not interacting with a lot of people, there's less noise, and some people just find it better for their mental health to be in less crowded spaces. So I think it's a little bit similar for this woman. She wants to avoid the crowds. Not so much because she didn't like crowds, but I think it's because she wanted to avoid the other women. And avoiding the other women meant avoiding the gossip. You see, this woman had been married 5 times and she was on to her 6th partner. And this would definitely be a topic of gossip for lots of ladies in the morning. And so I can imagine that she wanted to avoid all that gossip. First of all, her past. Second of all, she was a Samaritan woman, which meant she wasn't supposed to talk to or associate with the Jews. And Jesus was a Jew. Third of all, she's a woman. So she's alone at the well, and Jesus is there resting from a crazy day and crazy journey. And she's alone there, he's alone there. They're not supposed to be talking because their cultural customs said they weren't supposed to. That was a no-no. Now, did Jesus care about man-made rules? No, he didn't. He talked to her because she was his creation. He treated her like a human being made in his image. If he kept to the human rules, he wouldn't have talked to her for being a woman, for being a Samaritan, and for having a crazy past. These are the kind of stories we really need to take notice of. How Jesus treats people, how Jesus treats women, with dignity and respect. He spoke theology with her, and then he revealed himself to her as God and Messiah. Jesus doesn't care if you're someone that society doesn't approve of. Jesus doesn't go with man-made rules, thank God for that. Jesus sees you just as you are. He knows everything about you and accepts you. But he calls you to deeper truths, and he doesn't leave us where he first met us. This woman became an evangelist in her own village after her conversion and conversation with Jesus. You think God can't work in you? Think again.